Hello friends, welcome to this session in which we are understanding the notion of population and sample. So sampling is very often used in our daily life. For example, while purchasing food grains from a shop, we usually examine a handful from the bag to assess the quality of the commodity. A doctor examines a few drops of blood as sample and draws conclusion about the blood constitution of the whole body. Thus, most of our investigations are based on sample. So today let us see the importance of sampling and the various methods of sample selections from the population. So whenever we are discussing the population and sample, it is necessary to understand what is actually meant by the statistical population. In any statistical inquiry, all the items which fall within the purview of inquiry are known as population, or it is also called as universe. In other words, the population is complete set of all possible observations of the type which is to be investigated. Statisticians use the word population to refer not only to people but to all items that have been chosen for study. So the total number of citizens of a country. So if you see this picture that we are showing here, so these are the citizens of a country. So that is also called as a population. Total number of students studying in a school or college, so that also constitutes a population. Total number of books in a library, so that also constitutes a population. Or total number of houses in a village or town are some of the examples. See in this case, so this is the population of the penguins, the total population of penguins. So that also constitutes a population. So population is nothing but all the items which fall within the purview of our inquiry. So that is nothing but a population, or this is also called as a universe. So what are the types of population? So there are four types of population. So one is a finite population. So the finite population, the second one is an infinite population, the third one is hypothetical population, and the fourth one is nothing but my existent population. So what is meant by finite population? Finite population consists of finite items. A population in which we have finite number of items or finite number of objects or elements. Finite means limited. So then we can call this as a finite population. For example, the number of workers in a factory. So in a factory, the number of workers are limited. So therefore it comes under the purview of a finite population. Production of articles in a particular day for a company. So a company produces a limited articles in a particular day. So therefore it is a finite population. So what is meant by infinite population? In infinite population, the members or the items are, the objects are infinite. For example, so the number of stars in the sky, it is a infinite population. The number of people seeing the television programs. So these are the infinite populations. The third type of population is hypothetical population. Hypothetical population is also called as imaginary objects, in which a population consists of imaginary objects. Then we can call this as a hypothetical population. So suppose if I toss a die or a coin 100 times, what would be the probability that I am getting 50 heads or 50 tails? Suppose if I throw a coin 1000 times, what would be the possibility that I am getting 700 heads or 300 tails? So this is nothing but my infinite throws of a die or a coin. This comes under the hypothetical population. And the next one is a existent population. Existent population means concrete. So the objects are concrete. So suppose if you visualize, for example, if you take this example, number of books in a library. If you visit library, you can see that there are 500 books. Actually, you can visualize that there are the 500 books. So therefore this is a concrete objects are there. So this comes under the existent population. The another example is the aeroplanes in the Indian Air Force. So if you come to our department, you can see that there are 25 computers. So the 25 computers are, you can visualize this. So therefore we can call this as existent population. The total computers are nothing but 25. You can see this. So therefore it is a existent population, means it is a concrete population. The total number of units in a population is called as population size, and it is denoted by capital N. So the next question arises, this information, so any information on the population can be collected in two ways. So information on population can be collected in two ways. One way is the census method, and the second way is the sample method. So now we are able to understand what is actually meant by census method. Sometimes it is possible and practical to examine every person or item in the population we wish to describe. So we call this a complete enumeration, or this is also called as a census. In census method, every element of the population is included in the investigation. For example, if you study the average income of the families of a particular village or area, and if there are 1000 families in that area, we must study the income of all 1000 families. So in this method, no family is left out, as each family is a unit. So therefore it is called as a census. The population census of our country is taken at 10 yearly intervals. The latest census was taken in 2011. The first census was taken in 1871 to 72. Then again the question arises. So see, this is nothing but all about the census method. And what is actually the sampling method? So in sampling method, the theory of sampling has been developed recently, but this is not new. In our everyday life, we have been using the sampling theory, as we have discussed in our introductory part. In all those cases, we believe that the samples give a correct idea about the population. Most of our decisions are based on the examination of a few items, that is sample studies. So in sampling, we use sampling when it is not possible to measure every item in the population. Statisticians use the word sample to describe a portion chosen from the population. Sample is always some subset of the population. It is some part, some section, or some region of the population. A finite subset of statistical individuals defined in a population is called a sample. In the earlier example, instead of studying 1000 families, we are now studying only 100 families. In all those cases, we believe that the sample gives a correct idea about the population. Most of our decisions are based on the examination of a few items, that is sample studies. And the number of units in a sample is called as a sample size, and it is always denoted by small n. Then what are the advantages of sampling method over census method? See, the census method having some merits and some limitations. But when it comes to the sampling method, sampling saves time and labor. So it results in reduction of cost in terms of money and manpower. So it has greater scope, it has greater adaptability. If the population is too large or hypothetical or destroyable, sampling is the only method to be used. So these are the advantages of sampling method over census method. So today we will stop here and continue with some other notions in sampling theory in the next session. Till then, goodbye.